Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Muhammad Syafiq bin Hamdan. My metric number is S54509. My supervisor is Prof. T.S. Dr. Muhammad Rosni bin Osman, and I am conducted the research, the strength, weakness, opportunity, threats of the fishery sector in the Kuala Besut Terengganu and Tok Bali Kelantan toward enhancing your involvement in this sector. Kuala Besut is a one mukim at the north in a Besut district, Terengganu. For the Tok Bali is a small fishing port at the Kelantan. The demography of the Kuala Besut and Tok Bali are close to the sea and be the main fishing area in the state. Fishing can be defined as the catching or collect the aquatic organism at the marine, coastal and inland area. Malaysia is a maritime nation. It because this country is surrounded by the sea. From this, it be one of the main contribute of the gross domestic product GDP for Malaysia is from the fishery sector. According to Malaysia Yacht Council, yacht can be defined as a person who range old between 15 years old until 13 years old. According to LKIM, the number of fishers in Malaysia in 2017 is 51,608 people. From this, the percentage of the 24.9% is range of those age between 15 until 14 years old. From this, it can look that the Malaysia fishing industry has the problem in the lack your involvement in this industry. The objective of the research is, firstly, is to find the sort of fisheries industry between the Kuala Besut Terengganu and Tok Bali Kelantan. For the second is to find the fact of yacht involvement in the fishing sector. The third is to determine the factor to attract the yacht to become a fisherman. And the lastly is to develop a strategy enhancing the involvement of yacht in the fisheries industry. In this study, the researcher used the qualitative method. Qualitative method is used to understand people belief, experience, attitude, behavior, and interaction. In the data collection, face-to-face interviews was selected by the researcher as the primary data. The researcher has interviewed the fisheries officer and yacht at the research area. For the secondary data, the researcher collect information from the source, library resource like journal, academic text, previous thesis, and other material related to the involvement in the fisheries sector. In the data analysis, the researcher used the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is a framework used to evaluate a company competitive position and to develop strategic planning. SWOT analysis assess internal and external factors as well as current and future potential. Result and discussion. Firstly is a SWOT of fishery sector at the Kuala Besut. Firstly, we talk about the strength fishery at the Kuala Besut. Okay. First strength is has a large number of traditional fishermen. Second is the fishery sector at the Kuala Besut be the second most important fisheries area in the state of the Terengganu. And the third is the fishery sector at the Kuala Besut has abundant marine resource. Okay, the second is about the weakness of the fishery at the Kuala Besut. The first witness is the shallow estuary made a fishing boat unable to anchor. The second is small jetty area for the fishing landing. And the third is lack of infrastructure such as ice cube. For the third is about the opportunities of the fishery sector at the Kuala Besut. The opportunities is open of the downstream industry such as the keropok lekor industry. For the next is about the threats of the fishery sector at the Kuala Besut. Okay, the first threats is entry of the foreign fishing workers, and the second is the fisher use of trawls in fishing. Next, we talk about the SWOT fishery sector at the Tok Bali, Kelantan. The first is strength of the fishery sector at the Tok Bali. The first strength is fishery at the Tok Bali has many deep sea fishermen. Second is fisheries at the Tok Bali be the main area of the deep sea fishery in the state of the Kelantan. The third strength is the fisheries at the Tok Bali has a port that have deep water depth. And the lastly strength of the fishery at the Tok Bali is has abundant marine resource. Okay, we talk about the weakness fisheries at the Tok Bali. Okay, the weakness fishery at the Tok Bali is infrastructure problem. Okay, such as the telephone line, electricity, and ice cube. Okay, for the opportunities of the fishery sector at the Tok Bali is the opening of downstream industries such as fish based product and ice cube factory. And the threats of the fisheries at the Tok Bali is entry of foreign fishing workers. Okay, the next is about the fact of a lack of your involvement in the fishing sector. Okay, for the first fact is emotion factor. The second fact is operational factor. The third is health factor. And the fourth is finance factor. Okay, the next is about the factor to attract the yacht to become a fisherman. Okay, the first factor is a training program factor. The second is needs factors. The third is interest factors. And the fourth is marketing factors. Okay, next we talk about the strategy enhancing the involvement of yacht in the fisheries industry. Okay, for the first strategy is training program and a fishing course. For the second strategy is involvement of modern technology in the fishing sector. And the third strategy is provide assistance to the basic needs of fishermen. This study discussed the strength, weakness, opportunity and the threats of the fisheries sector in Kuala Besut, Terengganu and Tok Bali, Kelantan toward increasing yacht involvement in the fisheries sector. There are four purposes for which this study was conducted. The first is to identify the SWOT analysis between Kuala Besut and Tok Bali. The second is to look for fact the lack of yacht involvement in the fishing industry. Okay, the second is to determine the factor can attract yacht to involve into this industry. And lastly is to develop a strategy in increasing yacht involvement in the fisheries industry. These studies use a SWOT analysis method to meet the purpose of the first study. Okay, the interview face-to-face was applied to fisheries department officer and a yacht in the study area in getting the data, and from the finding of this study are expected we have those responsible in increasing your involvement in the fisheries industry.
That's all from me. Thank you.